Good afternoon.
All right, Coach. Appreciate your time. It's 3:30. We'll get started here. If you have a question for Coach, use the hand raise feature, and we'll get to you. And we ask that you keep your line muted if you're not asking a question. So we'll start with Steve Wiseman. Steve, go ahead.
Thanks, Mike. Good afternoon, Coach. I want to talk to you about the team's defense. And it seemed like early in the year, you guys were playing at a pretty high level on that end. The COVID situation, you lost some practice and some momentum with that. So that made sense that January wouldn't be as strong, but it seems like you're kind of on an upswing again. And can you just tell us how that's developed this month and what's going a little better now?
Well, I think we're in better condition. That's the first thing. And the last couple games we're rebounding defensively, which we lost sight of for a few games. We were getting killed on the boards. We're giving up a lot of offensive boards, although our initial defense was good. So just completing the defensive exchange and we haven't put people on the line as much, with given open looks and free throws. I think we've done a pretty good job of that. We're, against North Carolina, you got to do both of those things.
Luke DeCock, go ahead.
Mike, last year when you guys went to the Smith Center, there were a few fans in there. Obviously, it's going to be different this year, and I'm not asking you about the last time going in there, obviously, because I know how you feel about that. But to go back in there into a full building, more of your traditional sort of Duke, North Carolina game, are some of your younger players, you think they fully appreciate what that's going to be like?
They'll want to have the people in the arena. Like these guys, like most players, but our guys are, they love playing in front of big crowds, at home or away. It's exciting. They'll have over 20,000 people there, and the atmosphere will be great. And, I just think the atmospheres in both places lends itself to having, really top-notch performances by both teams. And that's why one of the reasons these games have always turned out to be really good games. But no, we're looking forward to it. I would rather play in front of a full arena than an empty arena.
Aaron Beer, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, I wanted to follow up on what Steve asked you sort of about defense. Is there an area of growth you look at with this group and say there's a lot more room to grow in a certain area or two that for the long term?
Well, we need to talk more. That took a hit during the stoppage. Just the ability to talk to one another while a play is going on, and it's really the lifeblood of a good defensive team is to talk, and it gets you to really to play as one. And so we're constantly working on that, where you help a teammate, you're helping a teammate, and you try to play five as one that way.
Brendan Marks.
Hey, Coach. Good afternoon. I just wanted to ask whether it be when he was a player or during his time with ESPN or obviously since being promoted in April, just what's your relationship like with Hubert Davis and maybe how has it grown over the years?
No, we have a great relationship. Hubert's one of the really good people on this planet. He and his family are great. His father-in-law and I were teammates at West Point, Bobby Siegel. And so I've known the Siegel family for a long time. And, no, Hubert, he was not only a great player, he's an outstanding coach, but he's really, his guys should really look up to him as far as what it means to be a man. He's got it all. And I feel honored to say he's been a friend for a long time.
David Thompson.
Hey, Coach. I was just curious if you feel confident putting Trevor back in the starting lineup and just the importance of him getting back, for that Notre Dame game, coming up to this game.
Yeah, I think we can make too much of starting lineups. whether he starts or whatever, he's one of our best players. And in the Notre Dame game, he was the guy running the team the last 5 minutes of the first half. And with Bates out there, Joey, Theo, and we went on a 9-0 run. So just having him gives us more flexibility, and the amount of minutes these guys play will be starter minutes, whether he starts a game or not. But having him back, is a big help.
Connor O'Neill.
Hey, Coach, I know we talked about this when the announcement was made back in June, and then again in the preseason about John kind of having a little bit bigger of a role and taking over, obviously, after the year. I was wondering if you could circle back to that and address whether things have gone maybe better than you've liked or about the same as you've liked in his role so far this season.
Well, I knew things would go well because John and I have a great relationship, and I trust him 100%, and that's why we made the decision that we did, and when we made it, so we would not only transition well but grow in transition, and I think that's happened for me and for him and for our program, and we're going to just continue to do that. I didn't have any preconceived benchmarks for that. I thought it was the right thing to do. Looking back, it was not. It was the only thing to do, and so it's worked out very well.
Jim Sumner.
Hey, Mike, you mentioned defensive rebounding earlier. Obviously, Baycod is a huge obstacle to controlling your boards. Well, what does Duke have to do to keep him from dominating the game?
Well, hopefully he won't dominate a game, but he's one of the best players in the country. He'll be a candidate for Player of the Year in our conference. He's put up great numbers many games in a row. It's not just like you have 19 and 22. You have 18 and 17, and so no, you just constant vigilance of trying to block him out. And I mean, hopefully we can limit some of those numbers, but you're not going to stop a guy like that. He's too good, and he's relentless, really, on the boards.
Yeah, thanks.
Alex Jackson.
Hey, Coach. I'm just wondering if there's any update on Trevor's conditioning and how it's been progressing since he's had to take some time off from practice.
Yeah, no, he's done well. I mean, I think everyone saw in the Notre Dame game that he played significant minutes, and I was actually surprised at the level of conditioning that he had, because he didn't play him tired, and even though I think the timing offensively with shooting is not there yet, he plays such good defense that it helps us. But no, he's moving along well.
Chris Lee.
Hey, Coach, thank you for your time today. I wanted to ask, in this type of a game, big rivalry game, how big is prior experience for former players and handling nerves beforehand? With Wendell Moore kind of having the game winner 2 years ago, how important will he be to kind of help calm everybody else down? Because this is one of the reasons why you come to Duke, is to be in one of the big time games like this.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're going to be nervous. So I don't think that's his role. His role is just to be a veteran leader. Our guys want to play this game. They may be antsy to do well, but nervous is not going to be part of it. And I don't expect them to be nervous either. These kids want to play in games like this. I think Wendell's talk in any game as a leader helps us tremendously, and I want him to continue to do that, and actually want Paulo, some of these other guys, to talk a little bit more. But no, I don't think nerves will have a bearing on this game.
Thank you.
Kip
Yeah.
Coon, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, hi, Mike. The emergence, you touched on it a little bit already, but the emergence of Bates Jones getting
Yeah.
into your rotation, what has he shown you that has enabled him to become such a significant contributor?
Well, he's gotten better as the year has gone along, you know. Look, I go back to the fact you can't play for Bobby McKillop for 4 years and not be a good player. You know, like Bob is just really one of the all-time great coaches at any level in our country and internationally too, because he's done it there. And Bates is a grad student. You know, he kind of runs our blue team, the scout team. So you get a lot of minutes playing a significant role on that team. And so you get to improve and get playing time in practice. And he's made the most of it. And when he's come in the game, he's really contributed. He's become a really good shooter and a guy that's easy to play with. He doesn't need the ball long. And obviously he just really works hard. So that's been something I didn't know we would have at the beginning of the year. And that's been he's been a really good guy for us. And I think, you know, he helped us in the Notre Dame game. And I can see him helping us in every game that we play.
Myron Metcalf, go ahead, sir.
Coach, it's a little off topic, but you were in the stands when John Shire scored 21 points in 75 seconds at that big Christmas tournament in Chicago. I'm curious if you have any memories from that game that John Shire had.
Yeah, it was at Proviso East, you know, one of the hotbeds in the history of Chicago area sports. And I don't want to remind John that he lost that game. Yeah, but actually, Chris Collins was with me as an assistant, and Chris and John played at the same high school, and John broke all of his records except most points in the game. And the last play of the game, he had a chance to do it and was called for a charge. And I thought Chris was a little bit excited about that. And I won't say he was, but I thought he was a little bit excited about that, although he loves John. And it was a remarkable performance.
Severin Mull, go ahead, sir.
Hey, Coach. You've had a chance to coach since the beginning of the Smith Center, and you're about to coach your last game there. What are you going to remember most about coaching in Chapel Hill?
Just the excellence of the games, and you know, when you either here or there at the jump ball, and you look at the guys on the court and say, "Whoa, there are a lot of good players on the court," and I've seen so many great players play against us that in Carolina uniforms that thank goodness we've been able to have a few of our own too, which has made it unbelievable. But that, I think that's what I'll remember the most is the level of talent from both teams on the court. And that's why you have we've had so many amazing games. You know, some that we've won and some that we've lost, but they've been really high level games.
Thank you.
Barry Jacobs.
You've said in the past that sometimes with a young team, you have to manufacture experience. And I wondered how that had gone this year and whether it was most manifest on defense when it's going well.
Well, you know, the best way of getting experience is, you know, you don't get it in practice, you get it through playing games. So we've played 21 games now. And so what we've done well and what we haven't done, we've learned from it. And we're much closer on the defensive end than we are on the offensive end. And I think that's the way it should be, you know, with a team that's really developing. And we have to continue to work on the offensive end while we maintain a high level of defense. But it's a close group. These guys, they've been a really good group. There's no jealousies. They work hard. They pull for one another, and yeah, I really like who they are, and I think we can become better. And with all the games, this is a start of a 4-game, 8-day, 3 on the road for us. So it's not just the Carolina game. It's the start of 8 days of really intense basketball.
David Teal.
Mike, you mentioned looking at it mid-court for any Duke North Carolina game and noticing the level of talent. Do you have any specific memories of January 18th, 1986 and that first game there and some of the players involved?
Just that Allery scored the first point.
Yes, he did.
Hard to believe I even remember that. No, I don't remember much. Yeah, for me, whether it's good or bad, I really put things in the past quickly, and so that I can be in the moment. And maybe when I do retire, I'll relive some of those tapes and whatever. But what really is good is that Carolina named the arena after the appropriate man, Dean. It's the Smith Center, and he deserves that. And hopefully in the future, no one will sell that. We have a tendency to sell those things because that's earned. He's one of the greatest coaches of any sport ever. And the fact that arena is named after him is so appropriate.
We have time for 2 more. We'll go to Brian Horace first.
Coach, again, thanks for the time. Do you think that it's important for the younger players to have a history of the rivalry, the games that have gone on before them?
I think they already know it. I think it's one of the reasons, not the main reason, that kids go to either one, Duke or Carolina, but they know the Duke Carolina games are going to be, year in and year out, they're probably the most viewed. There's a lot of drama. I think isn't game day there? I think this weekend. I wonder how many game days the Duke Carolina game has had. I would say it probably has more or twice as much as anywhere. Whether it be in Chapel Hill or in Durham. So I think they've grown up with that, and they know that. And so we haven't done anything to give them a history lesson. But it's a great question, but I think they know it. They know it already.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Steve Wiseman, last question.
Thanks, Mike. Hey, I'm gonna ask about Jim Phillips at the ACC. He's been on the job for about a year now. As you get ready to kind of step out of coaching, and what are your thoughts on the job he's done so far, as far as keeping ACC basketball set up for future success?
Well, I really admire Jim, and I think we, won the lottery in getting him to be our commissioner. I do think it takes a while to learn. I think he's done a great job of moving around and getting the lay of the land. And I'm anxious to see these next couple of years what will happen, because we need to do more with ACC basketball. And I look forward, when I'm done, to sit down with him and get some of his observations, and give him my opinion of it. But you can't take for granted really the linchpin for ACC athletics, which is men's basketball. It's been the key thing for our conference. And you have to keep renewing your commitment to the culture and the nuances and and stay as current. And again, I don't think we're in trouble or anything, but I think you have to stay ahead. Yeah, you have to stay ahead, and I think he's the guy that can help us do that.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time today.
Okay, thank you all.
Edinburgh Duke sophomore Mark Williams. Mark, appreciate your time. If you have a question for Mark, use the hand raise feature. And if you're not asking a question, we ask you to mute your line. We'll start with Brian Horace. Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Mark. First off, thanks for the time. Does UNC taking 2 games from you guys last year provide any extra motivation going into this game?
I mean, a little bit, yeah. I mean, it's bound to happen. Anybody that beats you, you're gonna want to beat them again. I mean, it's understood. This game is gonna mean a little bit more. So I mean, yeah, every game we got to go in the same mindset, same intensity, and win.
Thank you.
Steve Wiseman.
Hey, Mark, in all your time around Duke athletics, going back, 10 years or so here, have you ever been to a Duke UNC game at the Smith Center? I'm not talking about last year. I'm talking about with a real crowd and everything.
No, I haven't, but I'm excited for it. 25% doesn't do it justice.
What is it? I know you're excited for it, but what do you expect over there? What emotions do you anticipate?
Hostile environment. Gonna be ready to fight. It's gonna be a physical game, tough game. And it's Duke Carolina. There's not much more to it.
Brendan Marks.
Hey, Mark, I wanted to ask you about Armando Baycod. Obviously, you've faced a number of really quality bigs already this year, but what makes him special or unique, and especially knowing how central he is to Carolina's success, just how much pride do you take in having the opportunity to potentially make life tough for him?
Yeah, I'm really excited for the matchup. Obviously, he's a good player. Rebounds the ball really well. He had just had 19 and 22 versus Louisville. But yeah, I'm up for the challenge. I'm excited for it. And I can't wait. So.
David Thompson.
Hey, Mark, I know the consensus among players and coaches who are part of this game is to kind of like downplay its significance. But for you, I mean, what would it mean to be a part of history and to give Coach K a final win in the Dean Dome?
I mean a lot, for sure. You don't really get that opportunity too often. So, really excited for it, up for the challenge. And I think all the guys have been preparing really well. So,
Alex Jackson.
Hey, Mark, what were your takeaways from facing UNC twice last year?
In the pace of the game, they obviously run the floor on makes and misses. The physical team, they score the ball really well, shoot a lot of threes, get it inside. Obviously, they're at the top of the ACC too, right behind us. So they're a great team. But at the same time, we're a great team too. We're prepared, for that challenge, and we're really excited for it.
Jim Sumner.
Hey, Mark, appreciate your time. Duke had a great defensive effort against Notre Dame earlier in the week. Carolina runs a completely different kind of offense, completely different kind of system. What can you take from the defensive dominance Duke had against Notre Dame and translate that to the game against Carolina?
I think honestly it's just going to come down to, communication. I think in the Notre Dame game, we did a really good job talking, especially on like screens, ball screens, knowing our coverages, knowing like personnel, just knowing, who's shooting, who's not, who's rolling, who's popping, that sort of thing. So just having the same, mindset defensively, locking in every possession and limiting them to one shot is important too.
Okay.
Connor O'Neill.
Mark, kind of leading into that and limiting them to one shot. We talked to Sewell about a week and a half ago or a week ago or so, and he talked about how he was trying to kind of get you to pick your spots when going for blocks and be a little more choosy with that.
Yeah.
What's been the evolution there, and how good of a job do you think you've done with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've definitely improved on that. I think I'm choosing, when to go, when not to go. Like obviously when to go rebound. We've done a better job rebounding as a team over the last couple of games, limiting our turnovers, that sort of thing. So I think just, knowing when to go for the block, knowing when to just, box out, get the rebound is important because second, third, fourth opportunities for teams gives them, chances to, take advantage of the game.
Is that a difficult thing for a shot blocker to be told, like, don't go for everything?
It's not. I mean, I'm able to adjust to it. I'm still able to get blocks. It's not like I'm not blocking any shots at all. So just, being able to adjust to it has been pretty important.
Bachelor Hurt.
Hi, Mark. I'm curious, did you follow this rivalry growing up?
Yeah, I mean, can't go on ESPN as a kid and not see a Duke UNC commercial like the week before. I know that's been a rivalry since forever. So obviously Duke Carolina is one of those rivalries, it's probably just the best rivalry in college basketball, college sports, to be honest.
Do you have I'm sorry.
No, you can go.
Do you have a favorite Duke Carolina memory growing up?
Yeah, a couple. Austin Rivers game winner, Dell's game winner. It's a bunch. It's a lot of great moments coming out of that rivalry. We're excited to, have coach us one last time in the Dean Dome. That's going to be exciting, and to end with the win is the goal. So.
Last question, Brian McLaughlin.
Hey, Mark. If I'm not mistaken, you and Armando go back quite a bit. Can you talk about your relationship with him, that history, and then just does that add anything extra to this?
Yeah.
Game?
Yeah. I've known Mondo for a little minute now. Played against him in high school. Both on Team Loaded Virginia for a little bit. So yeah, I've known him for a while. Obviously, I know, how capable of a player he is. But just to have the challenge to go up against him is exciting. So I can't wait for that. He's gonna have to guard me too. So really excited for it.
Mark, we'll get one more in here. Severn Mall, go ahead.
Hey, how you doing? So with the pressure of Coach K's farewell tour, has it heightened a lot this week? And do you think that the team has sensed that the pressure is really a lot more with the farewell tour? Now we see that big, meaningful impact games are coming up with this game.
I wouldn't say it's pressure. I think it's honestly just more of an opportunity. We're really excited to, go there and play Carolina because at the end of the day, we're playing basketball. Obviously, it's a little. The stakes are a little different, but still playing the same game. Really excited. Still going out there to win. So excited for it.
All right, Mark. Appreciate your time. Thanks very much.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, welcome in Duke Senior Joey Baker. Joey, thanks for your time. If you have a question for Joey, use a hand raise feature. And we'll start with Steve Wiseman. Steve, go ahead.
Hey, Joey. The team's play on defense it's kind of on an upswing again. And I know, after the break, the COVID, thing knocked you out of practice. You guys had to get caught back up again. Where are you seeing it manifest itself? Where are you seeing the improvement coming
from? I think we're all just buying in. Our preparation has been really at a high level over the past few games. And we understand that, the stretch for us, we have a lot of road games and we have to be able to fall back on our defense and rely on it to get stops. So, I think all the guys are bought in on defense and we're preparing at a high level for these games. And it's something that we can fall back on the road.
Alex Jackson.
Hey, Joey, how are you helping the new guys get ready for the atmosphere of the Smith Center and the UNC crowd?
Just kind of explaining. It's really like nothing else that we've experienced. We've played in some big games together already, but the magnitude of it is it's on a different level. And so just making sure that we're ready to go and we have top-notch preparation for the game, and that we're all mentally ready to go. But we have gamers on our team, guys that love these type of games and environments. So I don't see it being an issue, but just kind of making them aware of what to expect.
Jim Sumner.
Hey, Joey, we've talked earlier with both Coach K, Mark Williams, about limiting Carolina's second chance opportunities on their own boards, but they also weaponize defensive rebounding. They can turn a defensive rebound into transition opportunity as well as any team in the country, and that's been one of their trademarks for years. I assume Duke's talked about that in game prep. Can you talk about the importance of limiting those fast break opportunities off of rebounds and how Duke has to go about doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the areas that they shine the brightest. They have quick, fast guards. They get the rebound and they push the pace. They look to score early. So being able to contain them and keep them and try and make them a half court team will be huge for us. They're a really good team and they thrive in the fast break. So we'll have to slow them down for sure. And that's been an area that we've been talking about in preparation.
It seems like communication is a key for that, knowing who's going to the boards and who's staying back.
Absolutely. You said it spot on, making sure that they don't get open runs to where they can just easy layups and stuff like that. We want to make them earn everything.
Thanks.
Of course.
Aaron Beard.
Hey, Joey, you've been a part of, quote, normal Duke UNC games with crowd and, their end, Ed Cameron, Roy Williams on the sideline. Now Roy Williams is retired. Coach K is preparing for his last game in Chapel Hill. Does the rivalry feel any different or like it's changing to you as someone that's seen it for a little while?
No, I don't think so. Coach Roy Williams and what he's meant to the rivalry obviously will be missed. And, after this season, when Coach is gone, he'll be missed. But at the end of the day, it's still Duke and UNC. And I think that rivalry is going to last forever. I mean, it's so storied and it's persevered through coaching changes and, a lot of different things. So it'll be there. And I honestly can't say that I feel any difference in my time here. It's still, it's a game you really mark your calendar for and you're excited for. So we can't wait to go out there and play on Saturday.
Anything else for Joey? All right, Joey, appreciate your time. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mike. Have a good one, guys.